Have you ever spent an entire Saturday decluttering a room and by Sunday evening it looked exactly the same as it did before you started? Or maybe you got halfway through a drawer, felt completely overwhelmed, and just shut it and told yourself you'd come back to it later. And later was 6 months ago. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And more importantly, it is not your fault. Because here's what nobody tells you. Most people aren't failing at decluttering because they're lazy or disorganized. They're failing because they're making a few very specific, very fixable mistakes. And today, we're going to go through every single one of them. Welcome back to Senior Decluttering Diaries, the channel where we make simplifying your home feel doable, one small step at a time. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am so glad you found us. This is a judgment-free zone. We don't do overwhelm here, we do progress. And if you've been finding these videos helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. We put out new videos every week, and I would love for you to be part of this community. Now, today's video, we are talking about the 5 most common decluttering mistakes I see seniors make. And I want to be really clear, these are normal mistakes, understandable mistakes, mistakes I have made myself more times than I'd like to admit. But once you know what they are, you can fix them. And that's exactly what we're going to do together today. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear picture of what's been getting in your way and a simple, practical plan to get unstuck for good. All right, let's get into it. Mistake number 1, trying to do it all at once. Okay, mistake number 1, and this is the big one, the one that stops most people before they even get started. Trying to declutter the whole house in a weekend. I hear this all the time. Someone decides they've had enough. They're motivated, they're energized, they block off a whole Saturday. They start in the bedroom, move to the living room, wander into the garage, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're sitting in the middle of the floor surrounded by piles, exhausted, and feeling worse than when they started. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. Your home took years to fill up. It is not going to empty out in a weekend. And trying to do it that way doesn't just wear you out physically, it wears you out emotionally. Because every single item in your home has a memory attached to it, a feeling. And making dozens of those decisions in a row is genuinely exhausting in a way that's hard to explain until you've done it. The fix is simple. Shrink the task. Instead of, I'm going to declutter the house, try, I'm going to declutter 1 drawer today. That's it. 1 drawer. 15 minutes, done. Then tomorrow, another drawer, or shelf, or the medicine cabinet. Small wins compound, and they keep you moving forward without burning you out. Tell me in the comments, what's the one spot in your home you keep meaning to tackle but keep putting off? Drop it below. You might be surprised how many people are in the same boat. Mistake number 2, keeping things out of guilt. All right, mistake number 2, and this one's sneaky because it feels like a mistake. It feels like loyalty. Keeping things out of guilt. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The china set from your mother-in-law that you haven't used in 20 years but can't possibly get rid of. The exercise equipment your kids bought you back in the 90s. The decorative plates your sister sent from her trip abroad. You don't love these things. You might not even like them. But letting them go feels like a betrayal. Like you're throwing away the relationship along with the object. Here's what I want you to hold on to, and really hear this. The memory lives in you, not in the thing. Getting rid of your mother's china does not mean you loved her any less. It means you are making room in your home and in your heart for what truly matters to you now. A wonderful little trick that helps a lot of people. If an item is difficult to release, take a photo of it first. You keep the memory, you let go of the clutter. And if someone gifted it to you, their love was in the giving, not in you keeping it forever out of obligation. Comment. I want to know, is there something in your home right now that you're keeping out of guilt? You don't have to name it if you don't want to. Just drop a wave in the comments if this one hit close to home. Mistake number 3, and this one trips up so many people with the best of intentions. Starting with the most emotionally loaded items first. You decide you're finally going to declutter. And for some reason, you head straight for the box of old photos, or the closet where your late spouse's clothes still hang, or the bin of things that belonged to your children when they were small. And then you're crying on the floor for 2 hours and nothing got done and you feel terrible. I say that with so much love because I have been there. Here's the rule. Build your decluttering muscles before you tackle the heavy lifting. Start with easy, low-emotion items first. The junk drawer,
the expired coupons in the kitchen, the stack of old magazines you'll never read again, the 17 pens that don't work. These wins build your confidence. They remind you that you can do this. And when you eventually get to those harder things, and you will on your own timeline, you'll have the emotional energy to handle them well. Easy first, hard later. Every time. Mistake number 4, thinking everything has to be figured out before it leaves your house. Okay, mistake number 4, this one is very common and very easy to fix. Getting stuck on where things are going before they leave your house. You pick something up. You know you don't want it, but then you start spiraling. Which charity should I donate this to? What if I could sell it? Should I call my nephew to see if he wants it? Maybe I should research the value first. And then you put it back down. And it stays. For another 2 years. I call this the paralysis of perfect placement, and it is a dream killer. Here's your new system. Get 3 boxes or bags, label them donate, toss, decide later. When you pick something up, make a fast decision and put it in a box. Don't overthink it. The decide later box is your safety net, but set a rule that you'll revisit it within 2 weeks. You are not trying to solve every problem today. You are just trying to move things forward. And hey, if this kind of practical, step-by-step advice is helping you, I'd really love for you to subscribe to Senior Decluttering Diaries. It genuinely means the world, and I promise we'll keep the good stuff coming every week. Comment. Here's a question for you. Do you tend to overthink where things should go, or do you find it easy to just let things leave? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Mistake number 5. And we've arrived at mistake number 5. And honestly, this might be the most important one. Trying to do all of this completely alone. Now, I know some of you are very private. You don't want anyone in your business. You don't want to ask for help. Maybe you feel embarrassed about the state of things, or you just don't want to burden anyone. Now, I understand that. I really do. But here's what I've seen time and again. When people try to go through decades of belongings entirely by themselves with no support, no accountability, and no one to talk to, they give up. Not because they're weak, but because it is genuinely hard. And hard things are easier with company. Support doesn't have to mean someone physically in your home going through your things. It could be as simple as a friend on the phone while you sort through a closet, a family member you check in with at the end of each week, an online community like right here in the comment section of this channel where people are doing exactly what you're doing. You could even try what I call the buddy system. You help a friend with one room in their house, they help you with one room in yours. Neither of you has to do it alone. And if your family is involved in this process, which they often are, please try to have the conversation before you start sorting, not after. Let them know what you're planning. Give them the chance to claim anything they might want. It prevents a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of arguments. Decluttering can feel isolating. It doesn't have to be. Comment. Do you have someone in your life who helps you stay motivated, or are you mostly flying solo on this? Drop them in the comments. And if you're going it alone, know that this whole community is cheering you on. Okay, let's bring it all together. 5 mistakes, 5 fixes. Here's your quick recap. 1. Stop trying to do it all at once. Pick one small area and start there. 2. Stop keeping things out of guilt. The memory lives in you, not in the object. 3. Don't start with the hardest stuff. Build your confidence with easy wins first. 4. Stop overthinking where things go. Use the 3-box system. Donate, toss, decide later. And 5. Don't go it alone. Find your person, your community, your accountability buddy. None of this is complicated. None of it requires special skills or a free weekend or a professional organizer. It just requires you to start. One small step. Today. Comment. Before you go, I'd love to know which of these 5 mistakes do you think has been holding you back the most? Leave it in the comments. Your answer might help someone else who's reading down there too. And that is a wrap on today's video. I hope this one gave you something real to hold on to. Not just ideas, but actual permission. Permission to go slowly, to not be perfect, to ask for help, and to take up exactly as much time as you need. Because this is your home, your story, your process, and you are so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. Coming up next week, we are talking about the one room seniors almost always forget to declutter, and why it's actually the best place to start a whole home reset. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Senior Decluttering Diaries and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. This community has grown into something truly special, and it's because of people like you showing up, sharing your stories, and doing the work. I am grateful for every single one of you. Until next time, take it one drawer at a time, be kind to yourself, and remember, a simpler home is a lighter life. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.